Hello, hello. Hey, Super Dave back here again. Hey, I appreciate all your time. I appreciate you watching my video. I really do. Like I said, I have nothing for sale. I just thought I'd share some of my stories. And they say if you learn from your mistakes, I ought to be a genius. I've had some successes, but I've sure done a lot of things. They say you learn a lot sometimes from stumbling and trying hard. But anyway, I'd like to start every video off. I decided with a little quick story. Here's one here. Hopefully this will come out okay. I'll try to hold it still. There's me. It's a small newspaper article. I don't know if you can see that picture down there. The newspaper article doesn't really do it justice. It's much nicer looking in print. If you notice the blue ribbon there, I teach art one day a week. My work sponsors me. They help pay for things, which is great. Anyway, in the summertime, I go to a place called the Farmer's House in Weston, Missouri, and I work with the special kids there. Some have Down syndromes, different things like that. And I paint and they follow along. Well, Paige was there. She was a new student, and she'd been there 3 days. We're all still, she's so happy. You see her smiling, such a sweet girl, 18 years old, and she's nonverbal. And we was going to have Paige paint that day. Anyway, make a long story short, we were doing some trees, and we had the sunset going on, or the sunrise, and we had these nice tree shapes, and everything was going great. And then Paige kind of smiled and stood up and grabbed her brush and just decided to make an abstract out of it. And just smiled, and we all smiled, and I grabbed my canvas and put it in front of her, and it's not pictured here, but she did the same kind of abstract on it. Well, we didn't quite know what to do. I decided to put all the kids in the county fair. Make a long story short, she's 18. I point that out because she was put in there with all the adults and everybody in the fair, and we called it an abstract sunrise, and she won first place. And my wife is from Ukraine, and she talks about the artist there that nobody would buy his landscapes until he did these. He started painting black squares, and they call it turning quadrant in Russian. But anyway, she just kind of did her own thing there after we had the painting almost done, and we all didn't know quite what to think. But I guess it's Paige who gave me the art lesson, wouldn't you say? No, really. And so I'm so excited because I get to paint with her, I'm sure, again this summer. So that's getting ready to come up here in 3 or 4 weeks. So just thought I'd share that. And anyway, first place at the fair, and I guess I got the art lesson, huh? Isn't that a beautiful thing? All right, anyway, so much for that. If you want to know more about that kind of stuff, go to ICanDrawPortraits.com. There's nothing for sale there. It's just my website, and it showcases. You can click on the student art and stuff, or if you want to read newspaper articles and magazine articles, more about what I do. Those reporters, those people that write articles, they tell the story a lot better than me, okay? So you can read that and check it out. Also, you know me, I'm going to go over this real quick, and then we're going to get right into the journal, my second day on the journal, okay? So, wow, had a few challenges, had some great successes with it, but, thank God for refusing to settle by Clark Kegley. He said, quote this young man, real impressed with him on YouTube there. He says, you got to have life here in the triangle, play, rest, work, got to have some balance. I'm going to be working on that, but Clark's best quote was, your journal is the best book you'll ever read. So why isn't that cool? Another thing I want to point out real quick, you've got Vic Johnson here on YouTube, says it a lot better than me. Go check out his stuff. You've got D here for Desire. And these are all these self-help books. How do you get moving? How do you do something? And Jim Rohn's real good, and he says, I was here at this business, last year, and I'm here again today. And how come the studies say only 3 or 5% of you bought this book? It's a very thin book. It takes 20 minutes to read. You've got to try to do something. So do that. Do this. This is what I did. I got this book, The Richest Man in Babylon, easy read, $6, Amazon. Get the actual books. You can start building your library. So anyway, so I did that. And if you have a desire, just have a little bit of faith, okay? Just a little bit. And then the key to this, I should be using black, okay? But you should have faith here. And you have a little desire, have a little faith, and then head on up here. here we have a little action, okay? And mine was buying the book, you know. And if you see my other videos, you know I'm being repetitive, but it's worth repeating every single video, okay? If you will just have a little desire, have a little faith, go up here and do a little action. The action will feed more desire. That's the damn key. Action will feed desire, and more desire, and a burning desire to achieve and succeed. And go see Vic Johnson's YouTube. He explains it better than me, okay? Other quick thing I wanted to point out before we show you the journal is, you know, this Simon Sinek, I'm sure you've probably seen him. God, that guy's gifted, man. You know, he talks about proper advertising, you know, this circle. I'm getting ready to start a business, and I'm thinking, oh, thank God I watched this video. No, really. If you're ever wanting to start a business or have a business, change your whole advertising mentality. Go watch Simon Sinek. Go to his channel. Read everything. You know, they have him go to companies, all the top executives. He's really, really good. You know, I guess he's like our modern day Jim Rohn in kind of a way, you know. But his deal is, you know, this stands for why, how, and what. And most companies that he points out, and he explains a lot better than me, but, you know, like if you're a computer company, he says like Microsoft, they'll say, this is, or a car company, put it this way, this is what we build, this is how we build it, we make great cars, we build them really good, high quality, and would you like to buy one? According to Simon, it's no, 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 no. You want to say, like Apple, we're an innovative company, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in, you start at the middle, see and work out. We're an innovative company. We challenge the status quo. We try to manufacture them to the most beautifulest, nicest, cutting edgest products you could ever see. And, oh, by the way, we happen to make great computers, easy to use. Would you like to buy one? So this is where you need to start and work out. But go see Simon's stuff, it's much better. Okay. I promise we'll get to the journal in a second. Word of the day, this is really interesting. You know, they have cognates in Russian, because I speak Russian because my wife's Ukrainian. Oh, by the way, after you show her, I just can't believe it. They're complete smart alecks, they're smart asses to a point where you can't imagine. She's always shut the shower curtain for me after I've taken a shower at night, and then she explained to me why, because of mildew and things like that, and it dries out better. And she went and got my journal book, and after I showed her my schedule, she handed me the journal book and said, can you put that in your journal so you'll do it? You can't write the book on these ladies. Wow, okay. But, so I just wanted to tell you that the word of the day is, how would you say, I just want to tell you, you'll figure it out. The R in the Cyrillic alphabet, Russian, is a G. Like a G, a G sound. A is A, M is M. This funky B, if you get the B like this, all right? Just real caveat, this B in Russian, the big B, is pronounced V. So keep that in mind. But if you get this one with the funky line, and with the, you know, looks like our B almost, our little B. So we got G, A, or A, yeah, M, B. The Y is U, R's, the P is R, R. Back to the G again. G, E is E, P is R sound. So, I know you're going, what is this about? But anyway, so this is G. Gam, burger. Gamburger. They don't have H, so they just say G. Gamburger. So if you said hamburger in Russian, you're going to get a hamburger, okay? So it's Gamburger. So I thought I'd point that out. Anyway, I did want to talk about one quick thing. I'm going to show you the journal, what I was doing, okay? And what I've been working on. I did run into a real quick problem I just wanted to show you. Every day I go through my schedule. I believe it's page 115. I will start, I think I showed that to you already, but yeah. I've got my daily routine, which is quite different, you know, and these aren't, I don't point this out. I don't consider this as a goal. This is just a routine. I'm changing my damn routine, okay? I'm going to get up an hour early, going to work an hour early. I'm going to, I have a schedule set up for reading before work. I have time set up for drawing at work. I have a place to draw a portrait at the very end of the day. I forgot that today, but that's okay. I did it yesterday, first time in 3 years. And then I got my nighttime thing set up. But I did want to show you something. I've been doing a certification guidebook for my new business. I've got to have to study these certifications. And I've been taking notes. And I just wanted to point out that, you know, it's turned into a lot more notes than I thought, you know. And I'm only on page, I don't know, 26 or something. And there's 90 in the first book, and then there's 3 other books. So basically all I was wanting to point out was that when I first set my index up, I thought I had that all figured out. And I thought I'd bring that up to where I want to take notes. I wanted to put it in the journal just because it'd be there because it's so important, you know. But I had started them. I had put them down to, you know, start on page 22. But I'm going to have book notes there, so maybe hold off on that a little bit. And I just moved these. Those are all my different rental properties and properties I finance to people. And if you ever need a good contract for deed contract, I can send you one in the email, no charge. But you know, I'm not a lawyer, attorney, or anything like that. But you know, it's got everything covered. Trust me, it's probably more than your state would allow you to do as far as repossession. So keep that in mind, you know. But you want to scare them to death so they make sure they pay their payment, you know. But anyway, I did want to show that I started at page 118. If you want to know what this journal stuff's all about, go see Clark Kegley, Refusing to Settle, or go look at his journal. He's really, really good. That's 398 months till I'm 90. I've got my other videos you can watch and get that. And so I did want to, I believe was it 118 I started those. Oh yeah, here we go. So what I did do today, because I got to work on my goals, and I don't quite have the goals done yet, so I'm going to go back to reading in that book from Jim Rohn, 7 Strategies for Wealth and Happiness. And because I've got these 2 rental properties, and what I'm going to do is I put down the name of the property and the goals for that, because both of these 1305, 1303 here and 1305, they both rent June 1st and people are moving out, so there's all kinds of work to do, so I'm going to set them up as my goals. And there's some other things that have to be done on a couple other properties, and so I'm just writing them down, you know. But that's what I did in my journal. I'm still working on the goal things. I will get up with that. But I do every morning. I do sit down. It's part of my routine is to read all the way through this. I read through this page. I read all my quotes, you know. I love this one here. It's my favorite. Income rarely exceeds personal development. That's Jim Rohn, page 40. And life, 7 strategies to wealth, or 7 strategies to success and happiness, something like that. You know, the Jim Rohn one. Learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. So that's a lot of it. You know, it's so interesting stuff. Your life will only change when you change. So, you know, that all speaks to me because, you know, you've got to change your routine, change what you're doing. If you want some different results. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over expecting different results. You know, what did Einstein say? That's the definition of insanity. I did want to show something here. Just a real quick talk about bankers. And I know when we would buy triplexes and fourplexes and things like that in California when I was like 22, 23, 25 years old, we would apply at 3 banks. You're like, say what? Yeah, we only wanted to put 10% down, and they're competitive as hell out there in California. You know, they'll pay for the appraisal and everything. It's quite interesting because they want your business. So we would apply at 3 banks. If the other bank would see that inquiry, they'd ask you, well, how come Security Pacific had an inquiry on your credit? And you say, oh, I was trying to open up a credit account, but then people, a checking account, but they pissed me off, or a credit card or something. Just make up a story. If you get approved at more than 1 bank, that just goes to show that whole concept. Applying at 3 banks, you're like, what? Yeah, don't worry about if you're going to get into commercial real estate and buy and sell lots of properties, don't get too hung up over your, you know, dings on your credit, okay? But because that whole concept of applying at 3 banks or 4, whatever, 5, whatever you feel like, the whole idea of that is because a lot of them will turn you down. They'll loan you money if they feel like loaning you money. They'll make you feel like like a piece of shit if they want to make you feel like a piece of shit. Act arrogant if they want to act arrogant. So just keep that in mind. We always applied a minimum of 3 banks for everything we tried to buy. It worked for us back then. That's quite a long time ago, but I assume it probably work now too. Unless you align yourself with a really good banker and you got set up well. Out there it was kind of dog eat dog, you know. So you kind of played that on against them in a way. But anyway, I just wanted to call you attention here to this, okay? You got Bank A, you got Bank B. True story. This is my house I was living in, and this bank. It's funny because I bought this house contract for deed and just paid it off. I paid the guy $667 a month, taxes and insurance. I think it was 10% at $27,000 for 5 years. Paid it off in 60 months. So I was proud of myself, you know. So, but you know, the house looked really bad. Kids were getting made fun of at school over the house. I got the damn church. I shouldn't say it. I got the church dropping groceries off at my house because the house looked pretty bad on the outside. We had remodeled the inside so we could live in it nice. But it looked kind of like a Herman Munster house. Not that bad, but you know. But anyway, the kids were getting made fun of at school, so I said, I got to do something. I'm going to go borrow 25 grand. You know, this house will appraise much higher than that, so I'll be fine. And so I had started the remodel on it, but I needed some more money. You know, they could give me 10 and go from there. So anyway, house is paid off, you know. So they could, you know, put a lien against, you know, clear property. What's their big deal? You know, I'm not asking for a second mortgage or any crazy money, you know, anything hard to secure. So I ask him, I go to this bank. Now this guy here, this banker here, at Bank A, this guy here, he lived right 4 doors down from me or 3 houses down from me. I go into this bank, right? I talk to this guy, and he is an arrogant little pompous little daddy's boy. You know, I think Mama still came over and warmed up his oatmeal for him in the mornings. He's just a little crybaby, arrogant little brat. You could just tell one of the most... I seen him once throwing a fit at the car wash over some quarters or nickels one time with his kid. It was hilarious. I was thinking, that poor kid. You know. But anyway, I go in there, sit down in this guy's office. I tell him, hey, I got my house paid off, got a good job, credit's back in good shape now. Hey, I'd like to borrow, you know, 10, 15, 20,000. I want to put a roof on this house and do some work to it. He goes, oh, is that the house right down the street? I go, yeah, right down. I go, I just live right there. He goes, yeah. He goes, oh. He goes, we don't loan money on houses under construction. Just as snooty and as hateful as can be. This is a name brand bank. I just went, oh, you know, what a whiny little bitch, right? I can't say it any other way. And so I go over to Bank 2, the Baldwin State Bank. I go in there. I say the same line. The guy says, oh, you got your checking account here, don't you? Yeah. He goes, oh, he looks at a couple things. He says, oh, your credit's fine here. He goes, you've got your house paid off. I said, yeah. He goes, man, not too many people can say that at 35 years old. He goes, man, that's amazing. I said, well, it's just a little ratty house, you know, and I explained the numbers to him. He goes, oh, no, that's really, really good. I'm just really impressed. You know how many people in this bank can say that? He goes, nobody. So we went from little whiny little mommy's boy over here to this guy going, hey, your credit's fine. He goes, what do you need? He goes, do you need anything to buy this week? He goes, I can give you a couple thousand right now, and then what do you need, 10 or 20? He goes, we'll go ahead and get the paperwork, and we'll have to put a lien on it, you know, and I'll give you, a 5% loan or 6% loan on it, and we'll just loan you the bank's money, make it real easy for you. It's no big deal. He says, here, he goes, could you use a couple thousand right now? I said, sure. So the guy wrote a check on the spot for $2,000 and said, we'll get the rest of the loan papers together and come in next week. We'll call and let you know when it's ready. So it just goes to show you that if you got a bank or you got somebody acting like a little whiny little thing that's trying to be arrogant and not give you the respect that you deserve, you know, or at least be fair to you. Not even being fair. And this guy here is bends over backwards, just the exact opposite, right? Come to find out, he owned the bank, and he was just thought it was. He told me later on. I told him the story later on, a few years later, and he goes, yeah. He goes, how do you get new customers when you treat people like that? He goes, that's why our bank does so well, and they're struggling all the time. He goes, so I'm really proud of him, actually. But I did want to tell you also, I had an ex-brother-in-law that the eighth bank that he went into and asked for money, he worked at a place, wanted to buy it. The eighth doesn't have hardly any credit, owned it, I don't know if he owned his own house at the time, went in there, wanted $250,000 to buy his cabinet shop he's working at. And the eighth bank he went into, all the other seven, I don't know how they treated him, but they all said no. The eighth bank went, oh, we're in a new location here. Nice to meet you. We want to invest in the local community. This looks like something. They took a real quick look at it and said, yeah, let's go ahead. Yeah, sure. They loaned him $250,000, $250,000. Just a young guy, okay? And I'm sure his credit was decent, but that wasn't why they loaned the money. They wanted to invest in the town there. So they loaned him $250,000, and they said, oh, you need operating capital. You don't want to be stressing out about that. So they gave him a $60,000 line of credit on top of that. So it just goes to show you that you really have to be persistent, and if those naysayers are getting you down or nothing, I just remembered this story of mine here when I got back from California. I remembered we always applied at 3 banks in California on every deal. So that was always always funny, but those are stories. So if you got a banker not treating you right, sometimes it's just it doesn't mesh right, or they're being judgmental, and don't let it bother you. Just hold your head up high and just go find a better bank. And don't ever do business with them again. All right. Hey, have a nice day. Thanks for your time. And you can also go to icandrawportraits.com and check out some of that stuff. Click on the student art or click on the media link. All right. Have a nice day.